The Sharks' sloppy play continues, and they continue to search for their first win.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Western Conference Tuesdays on the Locked On NHL channel. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network, where we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch this on YouTube as well. And the Sharks continue to shoot themselves in the foot as they lose 3-1 to the Anaheim Ducks in a very entertaining game. So we're going to talk about missed opportunities, hit posts, Will Smith's very up and down game, dig into the numbers of this game, and talk about Jack Thompson's arrival as he took someone's job tonight. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. All right. I don't know what they have to do to stop taking penalties. You cannot expect to win games when you're constantly in the penalty box. 6 tonight. And I don't care who you're giving up, who you're putting on the power play. The Ducks were 0 for 20 to start the season, had not scored a power play goal all season. You give them 6 opportunities, they're going to eventually score. And they did tonight. They scored 2 power play goals. You cannot keep doing this. This team is already at a huge disadvantage when it comes to talent and like everything, right? We know this is a bad team. This is a rebuilding team. This whole year is about development and making sure your young players are given a chance to succeed. You can't do that when you are constantly in the penalty box. And yes, Will Smith had 2 very bad penalties, and we will talk about Will Smith here in a little bit. But it's not acceptable. And most of them are just stick infractions and trippings and just doing things that are very easily avoidable. Like, it's so frustrating watching. And it's like, as soon as they feel like they're going to start to get something, somebody's in the box. Just at least Jan Ruda didn't take a penalty tonight, so we break the streak. But it's so frustrating watching with like, you cannot continually take penalties and expect, and especially for this team, which has little to no margin of error for victory, right? They've been very close in a lot of these games, right? You look at this game, you look at the Stars game, even the first game against the Ducks, very little margin. Like, the Sharks almost have to play perfect to give themselves a chance to win games. And when you're just constantly with the parade to the penalty box, you're not doing yourselves any favors. And Ryan Warsofsky is going to have to do something drastic here to try to set an example of somebody when it comes to this, because it's just not acceptable the amount of penalties this team is taking right now. It's ridiculous. Like, I have to like think long and hard back to like pre-lockout hockey when, you would see guys get a lot more penalty. Like, it's almost embarrassing the amount of penalty minutes that this team is taking right now. Like, I'm still it's just constantly taking penalties for things that are pretty, and you're going to have penalties, right? And there's good penalties, and we all know what a good penalty is. But you have to do something. You can't continue to live this way. It's you have to change what you're doing. So then, of course, any opportunities you have to take advantage of them. And tonight, poor Daniel Gushin, like, how do you hit a crossbar? It falls on the line, skitters across along the line, and then just doesn't go in. I think that is the perfect representation for this San Jose Sharks season right now. Is just a lot of that was really close to being neat, but of course it doesn't happen. It's like the Sharks are really close to breaking through, and they haven't won a game. They're 0-7 right now. They've been playing better the last couple games, and they've had their moments where they've kind of given up, or not, like, or like other teams have pushed back, but the Sharks have had a response, and the Sharks had a response tonight. And like, especially the end of the second period, right? It's all Ducks, especially after that power play goal, right? It is all Ducks, and they just basically take over in the second period. But then I know they're down a goal. The Sharks, like, end of the second period, beginning of the third period, the Sharks really make a push. They score a goal, and then what do? Literally go right back on the penalty kill where they give up a goal. But right, Luke Cunnin hits the post tonight. Barclay Goodrow hits the post tonight. I don't know. Great Will Smith tip. Like, just so many, like, this close opportunities. Cody Cece's this close to poking the puck away from Leo Carlson. Just so many little plays here and there where if it's half an inch this way, half an inch that way, we're talking about a different, and that's sports, and that's what we love about sports most of the time. But the Sharks, they're not given a lot of opportunities, and the few opportunities they have, they're just not taking advantage of them. And I think that's the frustrating part, is where you could see a few puck bounces here and there, and we're talking about a Sharks team that's won 2 or 3 games right now. And maybe the vibes are maybe a little bit different right now, but it's frustrating. So let's do the Will Smith talk, because I know people are it's almost exhausting on Twitter, but we're gonna, again, preach patience. Very up and down night tonight. Like I mentioned before, 2 atrocious penalties, which those moments are going to happen with a 19-year-old kid. You saw it's very much a lot of highlights and a lot of low lights for Will Smith tonight, right? And the Elliot Friedman had a great line on his latest 32 Thoughts podcast called "Riding the Line," right? Where you're basically just trying to be as smooth as possible, right? And Will Smith is very much up and down from shift to shift, period to period, right? And that is 100% expected. So, like, I'm not trying to get on Will Smith right here. And it's like I said, it's almost become exhausting where anything he does wrong, it's like, send him straight to the AHL. He's not good enough to be here. And, like, guys, you also need to ride the line with Will Smith of just, like, it is a long season. This kid is trying to you believe me, this kid is too competitive to not want to not be frustrated himself. And that's the thing, is you have to ride the line right now with these ups and downs. I thought in the offensive zone, you saw a lot more of the skill and creativity from Will Smith. Great shot, I think, especially on the point where you saw him play a lot on Boston College on the power play, kind of on that point. You saw him very comfortable in there. Almost got his first point. Again, Barclay Goodrow tip goes half an inch to the left, and that's a goal right there. He also made some, bad turnover that led to a goal, or like, that's the frustrating part right now, is, again, you see a lot of the high end stuff, you see all that, and he's going to figure that stuff out, right? But for every one of those, it seems like you got one of those bad plays right now. So again, we are 6 games into his NHL career. Patience, ride the line. I'm sure the next game we're starting to see every game. We're starting to see a little bit more so out of him. So that's we'll talk more about his line and stuff here a little bit, but that's my Will Smith kind of PSA as per usual. So we'll dig into the numbers of this game, talk up more about kind of the offense and how it did. Look at William Eklund and his great night tonight. The numbers aren't the best with him, but you saw Eklund tonight was all over the place doing stuff. I'll talk about the Lions, all that here in just 1 second. If you want to get tickets to the tank, go catch a Niners game, go see the Warriors with the NBA season, or whatever it is you want to do where you need tickets, you need to check out Game Time. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that helps make getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have curated deals to make it easier to find the best price on great seats. Of course, you can see your seats before you buy. Nothing worse than getting to an event and realizing my seats stink. So if you need to go grab tickets, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. And if you want to get in on some fantasy action, you need to check out Prize Picks. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you have to do is just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. So even if you live in California, like I do, it's available in over 30 states: California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. If you sign up today, you get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive your $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So if you think maybe this weekend Justin Jefferson goes off, or maybe Brock Purdy struggles without his weapons, all you got to do is pick up some hot takes there, and you can win real money this football season. So download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app. Use code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, let's continue by digging into the numbers of this game. And this game was a super competitive back and forth game, which was a fun hockey game to watch. Granted, a ton of power play opportunities for the Ducks, but very much a back and forth game. And I think you can kind of, again, the Ducks score on that power play kind of early-ish in the second, and then they kind of have the momentum there. But the Sharks push back, which is something, again, we're starting to see more and more of is, I know Ryan Warsofsky, right, kind of control your moments that you can control. The Sharks push back there and, probably, again, probably deserved a little bit better tonight than what they got. But in about 45 minutes of 5v5 time, shot attempts were 58 to 53 in favor of the Sharks. Actual shots were 20 to 30 in favor of the Ducks. Scoring chances for 27 to 23 in favor of the Sharks, 9 to 9 high danger chances, and then 2.64 to 1.93 expected goals for in favor of the Ducks. So, but that second period where the Ducks really kind of put the pedal to the metal, they had 26 shot attempts, is all at 5v5 to 21, 13 scoring chances for the Ducks, 5 high danger chances, and the 1.44 to 101. Like I said, the Sharks did a good job, though, at the very end of the period to really kind of push back. And a lot of that was that Will Smith line, especially at the end of the second period there. So As for the forward lines, so we had 13-10 of the Eklund, Granlund, Toffoli line. They had 12 to 19 shot attempts tonight, with actual shots 5 to 10. Expected goals 4.28 to 0.76, 6 to 7 scoring chances, a 1 to 2 high danger chances when they were out there. Eklund was easily the best forward of those three. I mean, you saw, especially on the forecheck, you saw his creativity. Saw instigator Eklund, which is always a fun treat to watch as well. But you're seeing Eklund starting to string together some of these games. He had an assist on the Granlund goal tonight. Like you're starting to see him stringing together some of these games as we're, this breakout season. I said all summer, like this is going to be the season for Eklund. You're seeing his game just kind of go to a higher level, and he keeps playing this way. He's going to get rewarded with points. His team is going to get rewarded with points here because of it's almost comical just how unlucky that they have been with not being able to score goals. And I wouldn't be surprised if they put up like 6 goals at some point, just because they're so overdue for production here. They've been doing a lot of stuff right, doing a lot of stuff wrong too, but they've been doing a lot of stuff right, and they're going to get rewarded with it here at some point. So the Gushin, Wenberg, Zetterlund line, 9-28, 18 to 11 shot attempts. Again, when Daniel Gushin's on the ice, good things happen. Like, I don't know what else I got to keep saying. Also, the tinted vibe with Gushin, just like an absolute vibe. Love it. That tinted visor of his, like, that's, I don't know. It looks cool, man. Anyway, 18 to 11 shot attempts, 6 to 7 actual shots, 0.46 to 0.33 expected goals, 7 to 3 scoring chances, 2 to 1 high danger chances for that line. I thought Gushin looked great tonight. We would have been talking about a sick goal from Gushin if he had scored there. But this team right now just can't get out of its own way. So Will Smith, Barclay Goodrow, Ty Dellandrea. 8-18. 16 to 5 shot attempts, 5 to 3 actual shots on goal, 0.64 to 0.35 expected goals for, 12 to 4 scoring chances, and 5 to 2 high danger chances. Like, again, this line has been really good. Will Smith on the third line, you get him a guy like Barclay Goodrow, right? Go get puck. Maybe he needs another scorer on that line. But I think the third line for Will Smith right now is a good line, and it gives him a chance to play against maybe some lesser quality competition, which is fine, right? You're trying to put your young player in a position to succeed. But I think just having a guy like Goodrow who can go for it, or Dellandrea, like those guys could just go forecheck, go get the puck, and let's see if we can kind of score some scrappy goals. Yes, you're giving up scoring talent on this line, but it's like, honestly, it's working. And I think we get so hung up on the negatives of what Will Smith can't do right now that we're losing the positives. And like, his lines are driving play, and they're doing positive things, and they're doing good stuff when they're out there. But we're just so focused on the negatives and the what he's not doing and the mistakes he's making. And again, he had some bad mistakes tonight. I said it in the first segment. He had some terrible mistakes tonight, but don't let that overshadow all the good stuff that he's doing as well. He's going to score here soon. Like, somebody on Twitter tweeted at me, like, as soon as he scores the first one, it's going to be a floodgate from him. Like, it is just like the Sharks. The floodgate's coming here at some point. Maybe not a massive flood, but you're gonna see like a game where the Sharks put up like 6 goals and be like, where did that come from? It's because they're just overdue. They're overdue at this point. So then finally we had Klim Kostin, Nico Sturm, and Luke Kunin. They played 5-22, 7 to 10 shot attempts, 4 to 7 actual shots, 0.36 to 0.66 expected goals for, 1 to 4 scoring chances, and 1 to 4 high danger chances. So Overall, like, I mean, we know where this team's bread is butter, right? Is the Eklund, Granlund, Toffoli line right now until Celebrini gets back. Latest right now on Celebrini is a couple weeks. So 2 weeks from now, we'll probably know more. So we're realistically, like, it's probably going to be mid-November if I had to guess. So when we see Celebrini back, we did get some positive news. Shakir Mukhamadullin and Thomas Bordeleau, they were activated from IR, sent down to the Barracuda. This is mostly just as a rehab stint for them. Of the two, I get Mukhamadullin, I think, is going to be the first guy up because I think they really want to kind of give Mukhamadullin a chance. Bordeleau, I think if he has a really strong start to the Barracuda, he'll be up soon, and then you can kind of figure things out from there. But it's a forward group right now. So overall, again, they're getting some opportunities. You're seeing positive stuff. They just need to convert. They just need to convert at some point here. So, and I think that's a frustrating part because we can see the positives. We can see them starting to drive play, especially compared to last year. They're doing a much better job of getting more time in the offensive zone, like creating more 5-on-5 play, especially over the past couple games here. It's going to click at some point. So we'll talk about Jack Thompson. Why I think he took some of his job tonight. So we'll talk about Jack Thompson. We'll check in on Mackenzie Blackwood tonight. Nice bounce back from him after the rough start against the Jets the other night. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get the hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Tua's back. I'm taking the Dolphins this weekend. The Dolphins need some wins. I'm taking the Dolphins. I think it's -3. I'm taking the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins come out and try to kind of set the tone. Also, give me 2 Tyreek Hill touchdowns. I think, again, we're going to try to set the tone to be like, we're here or we're not going to mess around. So you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bets. So, again, Tua, give me at least a Tyreek Hill touchdown and a Dolphins win. There you go. There's a nice little parlay for you. So you can do all that over at FanDuel.com. All right, before we get to Jack Thompson, and then we talk about Mackenzie Blackwood, do want to thank you guys, of course, for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. For your second listen, go check out one of the other great shows here at the Locked On Network, right? You got Locked On Fantasy Hockey, so if your fantasy team is an absolute mess and you need some help, maybe you auto drafted, maybe you missed the draft, maybe you need to try to work out some trades, Locked On Fantasy Hockey's got you covered. Or check out something here in the Bay Area. Definitely nothing happening with the Niners, so I'm sure that's nice calm waters over there, so you can check out that. Locked On Warriors as the season starts this week. Locked On A's, Locked On Giants, plenty of good stuff here at the Locked On Network, where again we cover your team every day. Jack Thompson. What a night from Mr. Thompson. Gets his first NHL point. Congratulations to him on that. I know, again, he's going to look all sad in the photo because, they lost. It's like kind of they have to look sad while doing it. But Jack Thompson tonight, driving play. So he was paired with Henry Thorne to start the game. And then at the end of the game, when they were down a goal, Jack Thompson was out there. Actually, on the power play where the Sharks scored, Jack Thompson took Jake Wallman's spot as quarterback on the power play. Here's Thompson's numbers from tonight. At 5v5, played 14-28, 31 shot attempts, gave up 11. Corsi for 73.81%. That's like almost like Erik Karlsson-esque numbers. I'm not saying Jack Thompson's Erik Karlsson, but it's really nice right there. 10 10 to 4 actual shots, 1.22 to 0.35 expected goals for. Yeah, 16 to 4 scoring chances with Jack Thompson on the ice. Um, I like. I've very much touted him. I thought he looked solid in the AHL last year, and I'm always a little like I kind of give it the Fabian Zetterlund like rule of like after a trade, give it some time because like just dealing with a trade and stuff, it's a little bit different. I talked about it in the preseason. Like Jack Thompson's an NHL player. He deserves to have a shot. I know Luca Cagnoni. Luca Cagnoni is the best. I love Luca Cagnoni. We can have two nice things. And Jack Thompson's kind of cut his teeth and is ready to be a full-time NHL player. And I don't know how you can look me in the face right now and say Jack Thompson should be taken out of this lineup, especially for like a Matt Benning or Jan Ruda or basically like, right? Like Thompson and especially what's going to be a long lost season about development. Jack Thompson needs to play NHL games, and maybe at some point we have Mukmo and Thompson out there together. I don't care. Like again, if I'm going to be losing games, I'd rather be losing games with young players who are NHL ready, guys like Thompson and Mukmo than guys like Ruda and Benning who are not part of your long-term future. So I was thoroughly impressed with Jack Thompson tonight. He had like one play where he like a little bit of a turnover in the corner, but it didn't really turn out to be too much. But every time he was out there, the Sharks just had positive offensive zone stuff, and you saw his ability to get the puck going out of his own zone, whether it's skating, whether it's passing. Like Thompson, you saw, and again, running the power play by the end of the game. Jake Wallman, I thought, was very hit or miss. He's very inaccurate. I know they said it in the broadcast where he's kind of shooting off the net to try to get the rebound, like for deflections and stuff. But like at some point, you just got to hit the net. And I think Jack Thompson just does a better job of just hitting the net right now, which for a Sharks team that struggles to get shots on goal, just hitting the net and kind of letting things happen there is perfectly fine with me. So it'll be interesting to see if Thompson is the number one power play quarterback next game. But I think you got to kind of have to ride the hot hand right now. And Jack Thompson was absolutely the best Sharks player other than I think Mackenzie Blackwood tonight. So we'll check in. So Mackenzie Blackwood, really quick here in all situations. 38 saves on 40 shots, 2 goals against, 384 expected goals against, 3.84, expected goals against, 950 save percentage, 203 goals against, 6 saves on 7 high danger shots, 10 of 11 for the mid danger, and then 21 of 21 for the low danger. Great response from Blackwood. And I think we've seen that a lot, right? Mackenzie Blackwood, he has a kind of a poor game or a game where, it just wasn't his best, whether it's his fault or the team in front of him's fault. But how often do we see Blackwood just kind of come out and just kind of set the tone and be like, nope, we're not tonight. Like, we're not losing because of me tonight. And Blackwood had a bunch of huge saves tonight. Kept this team in it, especially that second period, right? As we kind of talked about earlier, where the Ducks are just pushing and doing whatever they want. And Blackwood made a bunch of key saves, massive saves to keep the Sharks in and give them a chance to play, to at least have an opportunity to try to, or at least when they did tie the game and then try to come back. But yeah, I pondered if we might see Vanacek here a little bit more this week, but I assume we're going to continue to get just them taking turns right now because again, I know the numbers aren't the greatest, but both these goalies have played really hard and probably have deserved some wins if they could get the offense going on the other side. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it from tonight. So Blackwood played well. Got a nice every other day schedule coming up here. So we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to kind of take a step back, look at some guys who I think have gotten off to hot starts, some guys who've gotten off to a little bit cold starts here. I guess maybe a stock watch is probably the best way to put it. So we'll be back tomorrow to do that. So make sure you're following wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.